Okay. So this is Denise Carter from Two Chicks Obsessed with Books and Eye Candy, and I have Jessie G with me. She is the author of Sizzling Miami series and Devil's Pride MC, which is a really cool motorcycle series that she's working on. So thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
And so first let's talk about Their Reason, which comes out when?
July 26th.
Okay. And is it going to be available on Amazon or?
Exclusively through Amazon.
Okay.
All of my books now are exclusive.
Okay. And I know that Their Reason is a bit of a labor of love for you. Can you tell us what makes it so special for you and for the readers?
I think that of all of the characters, Red is definitely the one that's looking for a family. And that would mean the most to him, is to be married and to have that acceptance. We know at the end of For a Reason he connects with his real family, but he's already kind of given up that idea of being part of that family. But being part of Bull's family and all of the guys in the garage and all of that, they've accepted him and want him for him. It's not an obligation. It's not something that his father is doing 25 years too late. So it means a lot to him. And as marriage equality took place here in South Florida in January.
Good to know.
And 10 hours before it officially went into effect, and it's in the intro of the book. Unfortunately, I'm not good with dates if I don't have them in front of me. But 10 hours before the official start of issuing marriage licenses, Miami started issuing marriage licenses.
Wow.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good little piece of trivia. So this novel is based around novella. Sorry, about how long is it?
I think by Amazon standards, it's about 75 pages,
Okay.
about 30,000 words.
Okay.
It's a wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, how long can you drag it out? You got the planning, you got the wedding, you got the honeymoon, there's a chapter in the book that's titled, We've Become That Couple. And it's the last chapter of the book where they're showing off their honeymoon photos to the guys in the garage.
Oh.
And so we become
Great.
that couple that tortures our friends with our vacation photos. So yeah, you have a little bit of that, a little bit of every piece of that wedding sequence.
Okay.
To do more than that, then I'm just looking to fill pages.
Okay.
I didn't need to do that with this book.
Yeah. So was there anything in particular that drew you to write this particular story, their wedding story, not just them getting married, but the actual story of planning all the way through honeymoon?
In December, when the legislation was on the books in Florida, I jokingly said on Facebook that if it passed, I would write a Sizzling Miami wedding based in Disney. You say on Facebook, you gotta follow through. When it passed and everybody was cheering, and I got several messages saying it's got to be Red and Bull, and absolutely it had to be.
Absolutely.
I mean, you talk about Rick and Davin. Well, I'm not going to tell you what happens there, but something happens there in the book as well. And Trick and Chase, they're on their own journey. Yeah, it had to be Red and Bull. And then I happened to be in Ireland. I didn't know at the time when we got there, before we got there, that this was happening. But when we landed in Ireland, everywhere you looked were these giant Vote Yes posters.
Yeah.
And we had car service pick us up at the airport, and I asked, and the guy said, "Oh, well, we're doing a countrywide vote for marriage equality, and this is the big week leading up to the vote."
Wow.
So everywhere we went in Ireland, it was giant Vote Yes posters, a couple of detractive, a couple of, people
the wrong side.
Right. People on the street handing out flyers. We took tours. The tour bus drivers were talking about it. The taxi cab drivers were talking about it. And then on Friday was the vote. And unlike this country, you don't find out at the end of the day. So the plan was that on Saturday, They were going to allow, I want to say 1,000 people, I could be wrong on that number, into the courtyard of Dublin Castle to make the announcement. Unfortunately, I was flying home Saturday morning. So we happened to be in Cork, and we were talking to this gentleman who was handing out the flyers, and I said to him, because I didn't know that was their procedure, I said to him, will we find out tonight? He goes, no, we won't find out until tomorrow. And he explained to me that they were going to do this big announcement, and they were going to have this event in Dublin Castle. And I was like, oh, I'm flying home tomorrow. I said, I would really love to know today, jokingly. He goes, oh, just like you Americans needing to know everything now. I said, absolutely. I said, and if I could, I would vote yes. You know, if it was my country, you know, I would be there tomorrow. But it's such a friendly country to begin with, and then to be able to talk to so many people, and like when we were in Cork, there were a couple of LGBT bars, and they had banners and flags and parties, and it was just such an awesome thing to be there when it happened. Yeah. And then just before we got on the plane, I found out, you know, I was following the news, and so we found out. So I was in Ireland when it happened. It was awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So that's why Red and Bull go to Ireland for their honeymoon.
That's awesome. Is there anything different about this book compared to the others in the series, obviously, other than, you know, the fact that it's focused on the wedding, but is there anything?
But there really isn't any conflict in this book.
Okay.
I mean, we're really just following the journey. It very much falls in line with For a Reason, which was basically a love story. You know, Rick and Davin, they had their issues. You know, Saul and them, their issues are...
They have many issues.
They have many issues. You know, Trick and Chase issues.
Yes.
But really, other than the, you know, Red, you know, history, the basis of For a Reason was a love story.
Yes.
There was no outside conflict, so to speak, until the very, you know, the last few chapters.
Yes.
And this is very much a love story, a continuation of that love story.
I love it. So what's ahead? Will we be seeing other characters in the series kind of moving forward with their own lives? You know, obviously this particular one is focused on Bull and Red, but...
Well, as I said, you had the book since last night on your Kindle and haven't read it.
I'm working on it.
Had you read it, you would have revised that question. There are some interesting, very quick, so you have to read very carefully, things about their lives that are moving forward. There is, after the last chapter, what I call the ceremony outtakes. You know, you're at a wedding, people are talking to each other, especially couples that are not married. Couples that are maybe thinking about their own future and their commitment. So the wedding outtakes give you a little bit of Rick and Davin, Trick and Chase, or Tie and Chase at that point, because now.
Yes.
And Kyle and Saul having a conversation about Javier. And it's...
Just so you know, I know what I'll be doing tonight. And what's ahead with the series as a whole, the Sizzling Miami series, and even the Devil's Pride series?
So, first up for Sizzling Pride, Sizzling Miami is Safety in Numbers. And that will be the very much anticipated, and if I don't release it, I will get lynched, story of Chris. Yes. Chris, Owen, Liam, Billy, but everybody wants Chris's story, so that's kind of my working title, Chris's story. That's working right now. After that, you will get Talk Dirty to Me, which is Snake's story or Eugene's story, depending on you know, what you like to call him. After that, I think I have on the flowchart. I think I have 4 books. So you'll get Colin's story next year, and if you're on the mailing list, you already know what the blurb is for Colin's story. You will also get, possibly, Clay and his boys. I have that story written. That story has been my play story. When I wanted to write Trick and Chase, it contained a lot of BDSM elements.
Yeah.
Clay's story was my play story, to play with different scenes, to see what I thought would fit the way I write, would fit the series, and would be acceptable across the board. You have readers who don't read BDSM.
And Menage.
And Menage.
Yeah.
You know, when I put out The Protector, I had people ask me what I thought I was doing. You know, when I said I was going to write, you know, gay biker BDSM, people were like, "Are you out of your mind? You're going to lose half your readership. People don't read biker. People don't read BDSM." So I really wanted to put a book out there that had all of those elements, but that was in a way that would make it okay for people who, you know, those are red flags to them. Yeah. You know, and I've had readers who tell me, "I don't ever read BDSM, but I read Chicken Chase and I loved it." You know, I think Christina, the first line of her review is, "I don't read biker books and I don't read BDSM books, and I love this book."
Yeah.
So the story with Clay and his boys, as it stands right now, is extremely hardcore because it was my playbook. So I don't know if I'm going to leave it extremely hardcore and take a shot in the dark, or if I'm going to tone it down. But right now it is, you know, Christina and other readers and who tell me they love that the way I presented the BDSM would have serious issue with what I did with Clay.
Okay.
So that's going to happen possibly sometime next year. I'm not sticking to that. You'll get Carlos's story, who is the new president of Devil's Pride.
Okay. Yep.
You'll get that next year. So basically, I'm hoping two books in Devil's Pride, 2 books in Sizzling Miami, and then I have a single. It's a mystery set in New Orleans. And
that's right. I do remember you saying something about that.
And it will focus on it will go back and forth, but it's going to focus on a section of the French Quarter that used to be an approved red light district in the French Quarter from 1897 to, I want to say, 1917.
I was thinking around 1920, if I remember right.
I think it was only 2 years,
number.
And then they had it shut down because the government had it shut down because they were going to war, and they didn't want the soldiers to be distracted that were stationed in Louisiana, so they had it shut down. So, but there's a lot of history there. You know, mostly, you know, the what they called hen houses.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a murder mystery. It's going to have a little of that.
All right.
Yeah.
Random fact that Jessie just explained. So I'll let you explain about Devil's Pride and the apostrophe, or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof. You know, grammatically correct, Devil's Pride should have an apostrophe. Devil should have an apostrophe. It does not because, you know, as a motorcycle club, you know, when you buy patches, when you buy anything that, especially things that are going to be embroidered, you're paying by the letter, by the symbol, by whatever. So apostrophes just don't happen.
That makes sense. Okay, well, we've gotten lots of great stuff. Is there anything you want to say to your readers, to your followers?
Yeah, 5 minutes before this interview, I found out that Denise was in the room next to me.
and found out because I was banging on the door.
So if you're wondering what's in this cup, it is vodka because Denise is in the room next to me. So it should be an interesting 4 days.
Yes. Yeah.
What interesting facts can I tell you? There is another series coming out.
You're just a busy lady.
I am. I wrote a novella. No, it's not, I can't even call it that. It was a 6,000 word story for an anthology.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually still waiting to hear back if that story's been picked up. There's been a delay because they had so many stories, submitted. And the story was, the theme was second chances. Mm-hmm. And I wrote a military story.
Okay.
And so I put Jared in it from the Sizzling Miami series, who we don't really get to see too much of.
Yeah.
So he is going to have his own story, and then he is going to spin off the Forgotten Soldiers series.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, I think like I did with Their Reason, again, you haven't seeing the.
Yes.
50.
I have a date tonight.
50% of their reason, the proceeds for their reason, go to the Trevor Project.
Fantastic.
If you've read For a Reason, you know Red's history, and that at one point he didn't think he had anything to live for.
Yes.
I think that happens entirely too often in the LGBT community. I think that there are a lot of teenagers, who just have nowhere to turn. And I think that really, it's got to be a priority. And the Trevor Project makes it a priority. And, of any book I write, the proceeds for their reason should go there. When I do the Forgotten Soldier series, I will be, donating a portion of those proceeds to charities like Wounded Warrior, the Gary Sinise Foundation, who builds, they built homes for, wounded warriors. So, there is just, I am so blessed to have the readers that I do. I am so blessed that I sell a book, much less the books that I do sell.
Yeah.
Gotta give back.
And on behalf of, the charities that you're donating to and your readers, thank you very much for doing that. That's not everyone can do that, and it's good that you're not only able to, but that you're willing to.
Right. I mean, no, not everybody can, but, some people say, I don't have anything to give. Sometimes it's just time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just talking to somebody. Sometimes it's $1. Yeah. Sometimes every little bit helps. So whatever their reason makes, I have no idea on the projections of that. It's absolutely my honor. Yeah.
But now, readers, you have an even more reason to get that. So thank you very much on behalf of that. And thank you very much for allowing us to interview you. Appreciate it very, very much. You're a fantastic interview, so appreciate it. So I think we're good. Thank you.